put your defensive player on skates. Crandall shows you how. 5 of 5 to Patrick Williams from behind the arc.
Oh, Jamal Anderson said, no, my brother. I got some hops as well.
Welcome back to the In the Gap podcast. I'm Geno. He's Pat. He's Jamel. And that's Pete. Super excited to have you guys back with us. Just a quick reminder before we get started. Make sure you're subscribing, sharing, helping us do what we can to increase our audience and to continue to grow the podcast. Just a reminder, we are not professionals at this yet by any means, so we appreciate all the support and all the help that we can get. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump straight into it. Pat and Jamel, you guys both had games this weekend. Pat, why don't we start with you? Just recap us quick on what happened in this weekend's games and any other things that you may have to talk about.
We played Plymouth on Thursday, but to be honest, I've forgotten that game because our game against Sheffield was so bad. Like, it's to the point where I don't even really remember what happened on Thursday. We played the Sheffield Sharks and we gave up 96 points. Like, I look back on my career in the British Basketball League and there wasn't ever a time we ever let them score above more than 80 points against us. So, I was a little bit disappointed. I think, we've obviously got to work on defensive stuff, and I'm not going to give my game plan away for the next game because we, for some reason, play them again on Sunday. But I'm not going to give my game plan away on this podcast. And I think we just got a lot of stuff to fix, Yeah, we got to get better. But yeah, not happy today. I can't lie.
Had a really fun day on the Saturday. Team played really well, executed our plan pretty well. And then the next day we were just like, yeah, we're tired. We are tired. So yeah, I don't want to remember Sunday either, Pat. So I get that, bro. Totally get it. The only thing I would say is it's that time of the year, bro. Like, there's only a few select teams in most leagues that can just come out the gate on fire and stay consistent for the rest of the season. There's only a few teams that can ever do that. And I feel like at this point of the year, you need those games, man. I'm sure you guys know from our experience playing at the Riders, like, we were all ready to go every game, but then there were certain times in the season where it just didn't go to plan, and we learned from that. So yeah, I'd say that's what's going on right now. There's a lot of learning around the league. Playing against Geno after playing on the same team as him was weird as hell, man. Because, like, Geno, I don't know if you agree with this, but like in practice, yeah, I don't think I ever really guarded you. I don't know why, but it was when I got to the game that I realized that too, and I was like, hold on a second. I think I've done this before. I just watched you destroy people every day, every game. So we get to that final, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm guarding Geno. This guy did not miss a whole game. Oh man, yo, builders, man.
Yeah, that was a good showing. Good showing. I think the one thing I remember from that game the most probably is, like, I don't know, there was a possession. I think there was a possession, and I caught the ball, and you were guarding me, and I caught the ball.
Yeah,
I want to say like on the left block, right block, maybe,
in the
whatever,
post. Yeah,
in the post.
yeah,
And
I
I know
remember.
after, like, everybody's like, why would you post up Jamel? And, like, on the one hand, like, it's not a size thing, right? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm just bigger, because clearly I'm not in any way. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I
Right.
genuinely am very comfortable getting the ball in the post. I almost wish more coaches, like, throughout my career, because I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of big men are going to be upset about this, I feel like it's easier to score. There's just, like, if I'm at the top of the key isolating
From the
or whatever,
post?
like, for example, if Jamel's guarding me, I don't want to isolate at the top of the key. I really don't. Because, one, he's big, he's long, right? I'm going to have to do 5 moves to try to get around him. There's guys in help, 10 eyes on me, you know what I mean? Versus catch the ball on the block. I feel like there's more space, number one. And then number two, for somebody like me, especially who can over dribble at times, it limits the amount of stuff I'm able to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost
Yeah.
like putting a leash on myself. Like, hey, you got it on the block. Don't do nothing crazy. But I just remember getting the ball. And I think, I
That's
don't
funny.
remember. I think maybe I faked one way or maybe I shot faking up and under. And they called a foul. So it was an and one. And I just remember thinking to
I won.
myself after, and I think I've seen a replay, and you just kind of look like, Jamel doesn't really emote too much in games, so it wasn't like an upset or anything. It just was like a face, like, really? Because he didn't touch me at all. Like, there was no contact whatsoever. Not even close. And they call a foul, and I'm just like, yep, I'll take it, whatever. Because, Jamel, when he's guarding, he's physical normally, too. So normally there is a bump, there is some contact, and he's good at it. He's frustrating to play against. And then on that one possession, like, no contact at all, and I actually get a foul. I'm like, all right, yeah.
But speaking of Jamel on defense, I seen you do something when I was watching you play against London. I've never seen anyone do before. I need to ask you, like, if this was intentional or not, right? Because someone drove and kicked it out to the guy you were guarding. Obviously, you were like in the gap. You were in the gap, and you were helping, and then they kicked it out to your guy, and you were closed out, but you closed out with your hands down, right? Like you were about to jump. Like it was like you were about to jump and contest the shot, and it completely stopped the guy from shooting. And he drove, and you were just right there. You were just sat down. It was like you fake jumped. I've never seen it in my life, bro. I was like, is that intentional, or was that just like, am I just an idiot and I've never done that before, or what?
Hey, is this what we're doing on the podcast now? Yeah, we're gonna give away each other's like little secrets and that.
No,
Yeah?
because you know what it is?
All right, cool.
You know what it is?
All right, I see where this is going.
I've never seen no one do that, though.
Jamel has this weird, like, super athletic thing, right? I only say it's super athletic because I don't know a lot of people that can do it. But he does this super athletic thing, or has this super athletic trait where he can, like, it's gonna sound crazy. He can, like, separate parts of his body to do different things, if you understand what I mean.
What are you talking?
Listen. So most people,
bro,
right?
I completely understand. I know exactly
Most people
what
will
you're
get a
talking
lot
about.
of fouls, like when they're sprinting or guarding somebody in a full court, because they naturally, right, like put their hands down. They have to run with their hands and their arms. I mean, their arms and their legs. But Jamel can run with his arms straight up or arms straight to the side and still be full speed. You know what I mean? Like he can separate his arms from his legs.
Yo, this is so true.
And so when you're saying that, it makes me think the same thing. Like he can close out and look like he's about to jump. Most of us, when we close out, we get down, fling our hands up, but he's like, no, I'm going to keep my hands down. And then when you drive, I'm already right here because my legs and my arms are doing two different things. And you don't know what the hell to do now.
Oh, let me write that down. That's what he does? Okay, let me add
That's
that
the
to
scouting report. That's the scouting report. Pass it to the rest of the league. Make
All right,
his
look.
arms and legs do the same thing. That's the scouting report.
Oh my days, man. Moving on to more stories then, yeah. Something that ingrained, first of all, Gino, the post-up thing is still in my head. That's probably the one thing about that game that I remember, because that's when I decided he's in flow. Like this,
Oh, yeah.
when someone's in flow, it doesn't matter what you do. Like we all know that. It's like, you could stop the shot, you could pivot away, you could take that away, you pivot again and make a tough shot. You just got to live with it. So at that point, I decided I wasn't going to focus on you anymore. So that's what was going on in my head, just so you know. I was like, I'm done with him. Let me go look at the other four players. Try and stop one of them guys.
Yeah.
That's what went through my head. And then Patrick, we were playing against the Riders at Leicester, and you guys were running us off the court, yeah. And all I remember is being tired, which is like, for me, that's not very often, bro. It's not very often I'm like breathing. And I hear Patrick in the side going, they can't run with us. They're out of shape. I'm like, you might be right. But we're down like 15, bro. You know how much that comment hurt me? It hurt. They can't run with us. They're out of shape. I'm like, oh, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, but you know what it is really. You know what it is really is you probably played. Say that was third quarter or whatever.
Mm.
You'd probably played like 20, 28 minutes to that point, and you were probably like, "Damn!" And I'd probably played a good 17. You know what I
Rested.
mean?
He's got
And I was
Gatorade,
like,
everything.
I'm still going. Hey.
Oh
Nah, I
man.
love it. I love it, man.
What?
Bro, but Jamel, the one thing that the one time that stands out for me with you is you see when we were playing with GB,
Yeah.
we're at Eurobasket. I can't remember who exactly we were playing, right? But we were getting smoked, right? We were getting smoked. And Jamel comes in off the bench. Jamel comes in off the bench, right? And we were all talking about how we gotta like come in with energy, all this, like blah blah blah. Jamel comes in, he starts picking up full court, doing Jamel things, and then someone goes by you. Jamel just boom fouls him as hard as I've ever seen you foul someone, bro. And he just looks at the bench. It's like, no. So I'm not going out like that. It's like, nah, I ain't doing it, bro. That was the funniest one to me, bro. Because it was just like, yo, he probably come off that screen or whatever. He's
Fine.
thinking, we're up 30. Like, yeah, I'm chilling. He's just got a hard ass foul from Jamel. Boom. It's like, yo, I'd be like, yo, bro, like relax.
30,
bro.
chill.
Yeah.
Nah. Hell
But
no.
yeah, that's
I've been sat there for 30. What are you
yeah.
talking about? Yeah. I've been sat there for 30 minutes, mate. I'm from Nottingham, bro.
Facts.
We don't mess around like that. No way.
Funny story about Jamel. Actually, my first practice with Riders. I came over as a replacement player. So I think it's probably like October. Actually, it was September. I think it was like September
I already know.
like 19th or something. So it's like late September. We're getting ready for a preseason. I think I flew in and we had a preseason game like that following weekend. So I come in, like we're doing whatever, we do whatever to warm up. I don't know, probably some shooting, something, Rob. And then we just get straight into like 3-on-2, 2-on-1, I think. And I think somebody closed out on Jamel on the baseline. And I'm like, keep in mind, I'm kind of fresh off the plane. So it was one of those like, and I'm trying to make a good impression. I'm in the help side. I have to like go up and contest. But I'm like, all right, I'm just going to wall up, vertical contest, do the right thing, look like you're trying. And he looks like, I mean, he's 6'7", I don't know, long arms. So it looked like it was kind of casual to the rim. I'm like, oh, I got a good contest here. And then next thing I know, like I hear the rim getting pulled down. The ball's going through the hoop. Might have hit me in the head or in the shoulder or something. I was just like, what the hell? These dudes are serious. Like I didn't even know they played basketball in England. I'm over here. I've been on the court for 17 minutes and I'm getting dunked on. Like, what the hell is this?
Like this year. I got such a good picture that Pete took of me dunking on Geno.
Ah, that's fucked up.
I don't know
You can bleep that out, but that's fucked up.
how to post
that's
it.
crazy.
'Cause I like Geno.
Never.
Like, if I didn't like him, I'd have posted that the same day. I was like, oh, bro.
Pete, just put the image on YouTube
just like,
right here, just right now. Boom.
Yeah,
Put the
Geno's
image in.
like,
Right
Listen
after
now.
first day, you're like, he's a good guy. I can't post that. He's a good guy.
hey,
I like him. I like the lad. He's a good guy.
well, the thing is, yeah, I think I'm a nice person too, but this isn't the first time I've done that. And that's not like me, but bro, Ant Rowe, yeah, big injury. And like the whole team missed him. We all wanted him back on the team at the Riders. And he finally gets back. It's a big day. Everyone's like, hey, Ant Rowe's back. He's practicing, like such a great person, bro. We were going up and down 5-on-5. And I don't know what happened, bro. Like, I think I like drove middle and he just stepped across. Oh, like literally like basketball hit him in
Oh,
the head type thing. Like, bro, I felt terrible. And like, I remember after practice, he was like, yo, it's my first day back. You're going to dunk on me like that? I'm like, bro, my bad, bro, my bad. So, hey, maybe I'm not a good guy, man. No, as much as I like reminiscing, fellas, like I think we need to come up to today for sure. There's a lot going on with Geno right now. Not being able to play right now sucks from a standpoint of I want to see you play, first of all. But
Yeah.
hey, Take it away, bro. Let us know what's going on because I really don't know what's going on.
Yeah, so obviously, anybody that listened to the first episode or that has followed me knows that in the off season I signed to play in Israel. And then sorry, I got a child waving at me through the window. Hi. Um, and yeah, so me and the family we made it over there in early September, I think like the first week of September. Um, and so for the first whatever, month, whatever was going good, went through preseason. Um, that always sucks, you know, an insane amount of practices and weights and community engagements, and you're getting called left and right for a whole bunch of things. And then, you know, we had a really good preseason actually, like a really good I think we might have went like 6-1, 6-2, 7-2, something over the preseason. I was playing really good basketball towards the end of the preseason. Had a couple really good games, really good practices. So everybody's excited for the regular season to start. I think last Saturday, whatever that date was, October, whatever. Anyways, last Saturday, we were slated to play our first regular season game. And we're in bed. This is early in the morning. You know, Friday night we go to bed, regular day. There's actually a holiday in Israel on Saturday, a Jewish holiday, Sukkot. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, me and the family we go to bed regular day around 5:30 a.m. Saturday morning. You know, we get woken up. There's sirens going off, and Tasha and I don't exactly know what's going on. We just hear the sirens. She comes and she asks me. She's like, you know, what is that? Now me first, like I'm sleeping. I got a game later on. I'm kind of dismissive of it all, but I'm like, you know, I don't know, probably just some sirens. They're probably testing something. It's like yeah. I'm like, I don't know, maybe they're testing something. It doesn't really dawn on me. They're like, nobody's gonna test nothing at 5:30 in the morning. Like, just doesn't register, right? I'm just like, they're probably testing something. And then so I just lay there. Maybe like 10 minutes go by. The sirens are still going off. And like the team manager sends a mass text to our group and just says, you know, hey, these are air raid sirens, you know, or whatever you want to call them. And I guess each apartment has like a safe room or something. So they're like, these are air raid sirens. Get in the safe room, stay there for about 10 minutes, and everything should be good. So this is obviously something like they've dealt with before. Anybody that knows kind of the situation over in Israel, Palestine understands that, like, yeah, there's a lot of conflict, a lot of tensions. Things happen kind of on maybe a smaller scale, not to be dismissive of anything that's happened in the past, but, you know, not really to the scale that we eventually find out that it is. So then, you know, after a little while, the sirens go off. We're able to go back out, kind of get breakfast started and things like that. But we were maybe in the room for like an hour. You know, once they told us to get in the room, having the girls with me, obviously my two daughters, I run into the kitchen and try and grab some snacks and stuff to bring in there because they're obviously going to be hungry once they wake up and whatnot. But you know, all in all, the day ends up being we don't really know what's going on. You know, we're trying to sift through social media to get a feel. Our team's sending messages, kind of telling us, hey, like, after a while, they're like, all right, the sirens have been going on this long. They're getting more information. They're like, the game today is canceled. You know, stay with your families, yada, yada, yada. Sirens, get in the safe zones, whatever. And then as the day goes on, as the morning goes on, they're like, and again, searching social media, we're getting a feeling and stuff that they're relaying to us, messages that they're relaying to us. We're getting a feeling like this is bigger than just some sirens going off at 5:30 in the morning. And so we're just kind of anxious, not really knowing what's going on. And then the team's like, pack stuff for a couple of days if you can. Like, get a suitcase with maybe 2-3 days up to a week's worth of clothes, and anything that like is super essential that you would need. And so Tasha and myself start getting stuff together for the girls and for us. And this is in between sirens going off. So, you know, like sirens will be going and you go into the safe room. Sirens will be off for, you know, 10-20 minutes, and you're like, all right, let's grab some more stuff, put stuff in bags if we can. You get, you know, 35, 40 minutes of quiet, then sirens are going off again, back in the safe room, things like that. And I think the scariest part of all of it is that, like, as the sirens kind of just mean like there's missiles, launched or intercepted or whatever in your area. Now what is the area? Like, what defines the area? I don't know. But there's times where the sirens are going off and you don't really hear nothing. And there's times when the sirens are going off and you're hearing explosions right above your apartment. The apartment's shaking, loud booms, things of that nature. So obviously, like, having the girls with me, it was it was a tense time. Like, I did my best to try and mentally minimize what was going on and keep telling myself it's fine, it's not much. Like, these things happen. Just to try and present that lack of anxiousness to the girls. Like, if I'm panicking or if they're gonna be 10 times worse than I am, Tasha, and then the two kids, obviously. So so that was the early parts of it, and then eventually they tell us, all right, as long as the sirens aren't going off, here's the spot we're gonna meet. We're gonna ship all you guys on a bus to Eilat, which was it's a city down on the southern coast of Israel, right on the Red Sea. And so it's about probably like a 3-hour drive south of the city that we were in, Beersheba, which is about a 35-minute drive from the Gaza Strip, where all of this is initially kicking off. So we're really close to what's going on. And again, as the day goes on, we're getting more information through social media and through the team, following, understanding that, hey, there's, it ended up coming out, there was 3,000, 4,000 missiles launched toward Israel. The fence between Gaza and Israel, is torn down and people are coming through, terrorists are coming through on foot. And again, we're a short drive from there. So we see videos of guys in trucks and it's like they can drive to where we're at, and so all of that was super crazy. But eventually that Saturday, they were able to get us out to Eilat, where it was super calm. It was weird because, yeah, it's a 3-hour drive away, which seems kind of long, but at the same time, we're in the same country. You know what I mean? We're still in Israel, but people are out walking, malls and shops are open, people are on the beach. They told us everything was safe, so we actually, just to give the girls like some sense of normalcy, I guess, and to ease them, we end up going to the beach on, I think, our second day there or something like that. And the basketball team in Eilat actually sent representatives of the club to help ensure that, like, we were taken care of in the hotel and everything was smooth, and helping us organize meals and things like that. But I mean, just a crazy couple of days while we're down there, just because, again, we're researching, looking things up. It goes from hey, this is something not so big, to the team is telling us we're trying to organize flights for you guys to get back to the States. And so we just, the whole time you try and let the club take care of those kinds of things. Obviously they're the ones who are just in a better position to deal with that stuff, I think. And so it was just a crazy time of just uncertainty. Like I said, I think a lot of anxiousness for Tasha. I kind of put on, maybe not put up a wall in a sense, but I tried to be extremely stoic about all of it and just deal with everything that was in front of me at the time, whether that was packing stuff, whether that was, what are we going to eat? What do we need for, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was kind of surreal. And I think even now, to this point, haven't had a true chance to reflect on, having my family in a war zone and having to get them out of that. And so I think that, yeah, it's one of those things that it's maybe one in a million, and just an extremely crazy experience. And then, after I think like 2 days, basically the club gets the green light from the government and whoever else they needed to coordinate with, that like we're safe to go back to Beersheba. And then so they bus us back to Beersheba after a couple of days in Eilat. I think we got back to Beersheba maybe Tuesday. And they tell us our flight's not till Thursday. So we've got 2 days still in Beersheba. And they're like, it's been quiet the last 24 hours, whatever. Like, and then literally, like, we get back, we're back for like 2 hours and sirens are going off again. So it's like, what's going on? Missiles are getting shot down above our heads again. It's like, why are we even back here? You know what I mean? Like, and then again, the girls are dealing with it in their own way, and I'm trying to keep them, together the best that I can, keep everybody in good spirits and whatnot. And then, eventually we get to the airport on Wednesday night. Our flight was scheduled for 1:05 a.m. Thursday morning out of Tel Aviv, and which is crazy because we're going on. So again, we're just looking on social media, trying to get as much information as we can. And as we're loading our van, or a bus, they got us like a mini bus to take the Americans to the airport. As we're loading our bus, Tasha's getting like alerts on her phone, and people are sending her stuff that they're bombing the airport at the moment, that we're heading towards the airport. So I'm checking with the GM. He's like, I haven't heard nothing. I just got off the phone with the airline. They're saying everything's still good to go tonight. So that was another like really difficult thing, is trying to cipher through, all of the information that's out there. Especially with social media, it's easy for people to just send in videos and say, hey, this is happening right now. And it's something from 2 days ago or things of that nature. And I think it was really difficult. That was maybe the most difficult part, is trying to understand what was real and what wasn't. And I don't want to get too much into the weaponization of misinformation and disinformation on social media, but that was a very real struggle and problem for us, trying to navigate all of that. But so we end up getting to the airport around like 5 p.m. maybe on Wednesday, because they just told our GM, like, make sure guys are early. It's going to be crazy, yada, yada, yada. And so we get to the airport, and just the lines are insane. They're not even checking anybody in for flights. You look on the board and everything's red. All the flights are getting canceled. And it was just like, it was hectic. Our GM was able to get us, like, he was able to work some stuff out to where we were able to get like checked in at a separate desk and get taken care of. But we end up sitting at the airport for about 6-7 hours, maybe longer, I don't know, because our flight gets delayed till like 2:40. So then the girls are sleeping on the floor. They took a bunch of sweatshirts out of my backpack and out of Tasha's backpack and used them as blankets and pillows and stuff, and they're just laying on the floor of the airport. Tons of people everywhere. But we end up getting out. We end up, I think, like 3 a.m. Thursday morning. Our flight leaves. A bunch of my teammates, actually, their flights kept getting delayed. I think we were the only flight to make it out of there until like 6 p.m. the next day or something like that. Or maybe it was a little earlier. I don't know, sometime in the afternoon. But we were fortunate. We get on a flight to Boston. Everything was as smooth as possible on the flight to Boston, and then fly from Boston back home to Minneapolis for us. But I mean, even through all of it, it's kind of personal. But Tasha tried talking to me the other day, or last night, I think it was maybe 2 nights ago, just about the experience, because we hadn't really had a chance to just talk about it. And I can like tell the story of what happened, but it's still hard for me to discuss like how I feel about everything and how I was feeling at the time. Because again, like, my mind kind of just went into this protector mode. Like, I have to be solid as possible, like, the last few days we were there, again, the sirens are going off. We're still seeing stuff on social media. So we all slept together in one room. We moved the baby's crib into Emrys, our 5-year-old's room. Me and Tasha moved my mattress into the floor in the room, and we're all just sleeping, huddled up in one room. We got waters just in case, whatever happens. And I'm sleeping with, if it was the States, it'd be different. I'd be sleeping with a gun in the room, but it's not the States. So I'm sleeping with a knife, under the pillow. Every little sound, you're waking up. We had to move. We moved our kitchen table and our coffee table in front of the door to our apartment. I'm just like, if something does happen, somebody opens this door, I want to be able to hear it. You know what I mean? But just, having to cope with all of that mentally, I think, again, I kind of just shut off everything else and was just like, fuck it. I just got to do what I got to do. And so it's even been hard. I think she was maybe getting frustrated with me a little bit because I wasn't able to really open up about how that stuff made me feel. But it's also one of those things that, like, I'm trying to just be like, well, I don't need to open up about how I feel, Tasha, because, like, we're out of there. We're just on to the next thing. Like, we're safe. The girls are safe. Let's just, leave it in the past. But I don't know. It was it was crazy. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, it's the worst in the world, because obviously there's a lot worse things in the world. Even right now, people are experiencing a lot worse things than we did. And it's just an unfortunate situation. I won't get into the politics of it too much, other than to say, and this is something even me and Tasha talked about. I think that just the cost of war is insane. I think that the cost that it puts on civilian lives. I don't mind much the idea that if you sign up to go to war for something you believe in, right or wrong, I can't tell people what to believe in, right? But like, keep it between the people that agreed that they are soldiers and want to fight for those things.
Bro,
Yeah.
amazing from you, bro. Like for you and Tasha to deal with that situation the way you did, like, man, like, I got goosebumps as you're talking because, like, I don't know how, like, nobody knows, right, how you would be in that situation. So to hear your experiences, it's unreal. And it's interesting that you went into that fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
Have you done that before? Like, that's a new experience for you to just kind of like, okay, I'm in a situation here and I don't have time to think. Like it sounded like you just kind of went into just autopilot there.
I know everybody, I think especially Americans, but everybody likes to pretend like where they grew up wasn't a great
Mm,
place to grow up, right? It makes your story better, yada, 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 all that, whatever. But like, as cliche as it might sound, right? I grew up in North Minneapolis, not a safe neighborhood by any means. Especially when I was growing up, gun violence everywhere. I got a lot of friends growing up who died, who ended up in jail, things of that nature. So I think that maybe the only time that's beneficial is right in that scenario. It kind of, I had, what's the right way to phrase it? Just maybe not prior experience, but had like, I don't know, enough of something to help me understand, like, these are the best ways to stay safe. This is the best way to be diligent about understanding my
Mhm.
surroundings. Um, and then again, just not being in a position where just because there's violence going on around me, I feel the need to panic. Because again, I grew up, I was joking with Tasha the other day because I kind of said the same thing. And she was like, come on, she's not from the same area, same neighborhood. So she's like, come on, it can't be that bad. I was like, Tasha, when my parents moved out of our like childhood home, like, it just got tore down because there was so many bullet holes in the side of the house. They were like, it's not worth fixing this. And like, again, everybody likes to pretend where they're from is the worst place in the world. I'm not pretending like that. Like, I don't want to make it come off as that. But like, in terms of that fight or
mm,
flight instinct, I think that just having grown up in situations where you're around violence and where there's the potential for, stray bullets or something of that nature, kind of gives you that, like I said, that something that just allowed me to be like, no, I just need to lock in. And if I'm diligent, if I'm attentive, if I'm doing what I need to be doing, that's going to maximize our chances of, being in the best position possible that we need to be.
It seems like the club was like when they could have been focused on,
mm.
that saving like themselves basically and focused on everything that they were doing. Like how much exactly did those guys help you, and how much like, because it seems like by for them getting you down south, bringing you back up, helping you at the airport, it seems like they were pretty good with that, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I would say,
how much help were they, and how much
yeah, I would
did
say
they
like
help? Yeah.
a huge help. Again, I don't like. It would have been a situation of like, let's just like, if we had no help, like, all right, fuck it, let's just pack, let's just hop in a taxi or something and get to the airport, buy a flight, like whatever. But again, like, a bunch of flights end up getting canceled. I actually personally, rather than flying back to the States, I wanted to come to the UK. Like, I wanted to fly into London. I just thought it would have been a shorter flight for the girls, more manageable. And then, work with obviously everybody that I know in the UK and all those relationships to, like Pete said he would help. Russell from Riders reached out and said they would help. And just trying to, that was my plan. And so I told the club, like, hey, this is what we want to do. And even the club, they're like, I understand that, I hear you, and we want to stick to your wishes as much as possible. but flights to Europe and the UK are getting canceled left and right. Like, this is probably the best flight you can be on, like the highest percentage of actually taking off. And so, they did that. And again, it turned out we were like the last flight to get out that day. A bunch of other stuff before and after getting delayed and canceled. So, that's one way. And then again, like you said, busting us out, there was constant communication. Even now, like, they're constantly messaging, checking in, seeing how everybody's doing mentally. Just like they didn't have to, our GM didn't have to meet us at the airport, like he went out of his way to meet us there to make us feel more safe. He could have stayed at home in the safety of his home and said, "Hey, we got you guys there. We did our job." But he came, checked in on everybody. He was constantly messaging, making sure we were, we got through security, that we got on the plane, that we took off, that we landed in Boston. So, I think the club went, in a lot of ways above and beyond, like, even what maybe they needed to do, just to try and guarantee that everybody was taken care of.
Uh, there's no way to summarize what you just told us, but uh, I feel like gratitude is something that's coming up high in my head right now, because it's like that's exactly what you've taken from this, bro. Like you're so grateful right now that you have your family's health and you're not in that situation at this point. But also, I think for the people that are listening, and you're waking up and you're upset about being stuck in traffic, or you've had a bad game, like me and Patrick just said. We started off this call, we've had a bad game, we're in a bad mood. It's like, you know what, like
Yeah,
maybe we should
exactly.
just relax a little bit, take a little bit of that stress off our shoulders, and be a bit humble, because like let's be grateful for the situations that we're in right now, because we could be over there, like we could be going through what Gino's just gone through, and that's man, I can't put it into words, bro. I really can't. Like, for someone that has a family to hear that is,
Yeah, no doubt.
man,
No doubt. I feel you though. I get mad. I get mad after a bad game.
which is normal.
Yeah, I hang on to bad games maybe more than most, so I understand.
Yeah, it's perspective, man. We get mad for the most stupid reasons, and
Yeah,
you forget people are going through all this. So now I'm really glad you said that, Jamel. Actually, because that's an
gratitude.
amazing point. An amazing point.
Yeah, I agree. I would say I
Yeah.
definitely took a lot of gratitude from the situation. Like, it's like you said, just grateful to be back, grateful for all the care and love and prayers and support that everybody showed us, grateful for the club. Um and yeah, it offers a unique perspective, I feel like. Obviously there's better ways to learn things and better ways to learn from your experiences. But if there is a takeaway, I would say that's positive for us is that we've, come out of it with a very humbling, grateful, and thankful mindset for being in the position that we're in. Because, like you said, not everybody is as fortunate.
All right, I just wanted to say that I'm super, super grateful, and we're super grateful for everyone who's reached out, shown love. We appreciate all of you. Thank you to everyone who's followed, downloaded, subscribed, whatever it may be. We're just starting out and we're kind of finding our feet a little bit. So, as this pod gets better, I'm sure more people will come, hopefully. And yeah, really glad that you guys are here for the start of our journey. So we appreciate you guys greatly.
All right. And with that, that's going to be a wrap on episode 2. Quick reminder, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at In The Gap Pod for a look at some extra content, maybe a little bit behind the scenes and updates on when we drop new episodes. You can find us on YouTube at In The Gap Pod also. And then be sure to like, subscribe, and share wherever you get your podcast from. I'm Geno for Jamel, Pat, and Pete. Thank you again, and we'll catch you in the next one.